Hello, this is a note about a new and powerful feature of qtVlm. Actually, the function itself has existed since the beginning of the program, early in the program, but it's been greatly expanded in this latest version, and that's what I want to illustrate now. And so the idea is we can download weather model forecasts in grid format, and those are the model data that we do our routing with. But we always want to double check as best we can the validity of those models. And one of the ways to do that is to compare it to other data, and that data is in graphic format in many cases. And so what the job is then is to load into the program an image that is georeferenced to have the proper lat-lon for each point on the image, and then compare that to the forecast winds and isobars to see how dependable the forecast is that we're going to make our routing decisions from. So that's the whole idea. And so that's what a georeferenced image is. And there's tons of them. I'm going to show what I think is the most important part by far. But one key part is looking at, say, a weather map, a man-made, human-made weather map, a surface analysis or forecast made from the Ocean Prediction Center. And so we can do that, and the function is in the program. Now I'm using a Mac, but the layout is just the same in a Mac or a PC. The key controls are different slightly. But the function that we're after, the image overlays, is called weather image, open a weather image. So that's it. Or you can do it with the keys. This is Alt-W for a PC, or that would be Option-W for a Mac. Or you just do it here. And that opens this control. And I just want to quickly show one of these to illustrate what we're after, then come back to it. And there's 8 different slots where you can store images and overwrite them and so forth. But here at number 1, I'm going to use number 1, North Pacific Surface Analysis, and it has to be activated. If I come down here to number 2 and do something with it and say go, it won't show anything. So you got to be sure that the one you're looking at is activated. Then you down here and you say OK. And then that loads the map. And that map, all of these images are set up, the way they're set up is that they're always going to bring the latest one. So this is This is one that was is valid at 12Z November 10th. That's today. And so then we have this map, and then what we can do is, and I've already loaded this, but then this is a GFS grid file for that same time. You see 12Z, here's up 12Z, and you see it. In fact, I'm just looking at the isobars now, but it in fact looks very good in this big storm here. But even in these fringes where the winds are lighter, it looks like the model's pretty good. But now the real test will be not looking at the actual surface analysis, but to look at, say, 72-hour forecast, which we can do later. But anyway, that's it. That's the concept that we're comparing. We're comparing a graphic source of weather data with a numerical model forecast. And then you can shut these off with the same. I did the keys there. Okay, so what do I want to show next? Okay, so there's 8 slots. I did that. And then, let me do another one. Let's see. Here's one I have loaded. This is these. Okay, so this is the main feature that's new, and I'm going to get more to that in a moment. But here is another one. I'll just show one more. This is slot 3, tropical that, just to show a sample of what these things can look like. And so there is that's a georeferenced latest version of the satellite cloud photo for this area here. So that's a type of things. And then you can compare that to the model and where you think storms or squalls or things maybe you can see squalls, it depends. Okay, so that's the idea. Now, and so the job now is to explain how this function, how this function works. And the way it works is you have basically 5, let's see, is it 4 or 5? I guess it would be 4 different ways that you can load and georeference an image. One way is the legacy way that has existed since the beginning. And then that is you would just load an image. You would just browse. You would browse here to your computer, find an image, and then estimate the latitude range from the top to the top to the bottom, and the longitude right to left, and then you load it and tweak it and so forth. That we have videos on. That's been in place for years, and it's a powerful tool, and that's for making your own from scratch. The key thing here in the new development is there are now pre-made versions of this. Plus, you can, ones that you make yourself or ones that you've got somewhere, you can now export them and save them and load them back in. There's a tremendous now expanded versatility. Now, the other thing you can do, and this also is legacy, but you could, let's see, which one do I have that in? Maybe here. You can actually browse for a pre-made KML. And so you would browse to your computer, find this file, and click it and load it. And then, let's see, do I have to do it? No, the KMLs, by definition, these KML files are already they already have their georeferencing done. So if I load that, let's see. Oh, now what did I do wrong? I'll tell you what I did wrong. I forgot to activate it. Okay, so I want to look at, I'm looking at Squim Bay entrance number 6, but I forgot to activate it. I have to shut off what it was there, turn on this one. Okay, so there we go, that's on. Now that Squim Bay, that's an image made in Google Earth. I could turn on some charts here to get a more of a perspective. You can then also, with this, all the images that are now on there have this variable intensity at the top, like that. So you can then look at either the chart by itself, or you can also overlay and look like that. So you have that. That's a way to do it, which is you're loading a pre-made KML file. And then if you just want to shut one off, you can always just go up to Gribs, weather images, close an image. That's the way to do that. I'm going to take off the charts for now. Okay, so that was a browser KML import from anywhere. Oh, okay, so then you can import import images. So let me go back here to another way you do it. That would be under the function import export. So you could import one that you've saved somewhere on your computer, and let's see, import. Let me just show, how do I want to show how this works? Okay, well, when you export a saved image, a created image, or one you've loaded from somewhere else, the default place it goes is received images, which is in the qtVlm main folder. And these are various ones that I've saved like that. And then you can say, in other words, you have these 8 slots. You have 8 slots you can work with. So if you run out of spaces, but you want to come back and use this one again, right? You want to use it very shortly. So you could just go to this one and then export it, right? Export it. And it'll ask, and here's where it's going to go. There's its name and so forth. That way, then when you want to bring it back in, you can just import it. Okay, so let me just back up for a minute. I think this all, let's look at, what did I say to play with? I said number 8. So what do we have here in number 8 right now? Okay, let's look at what we had stored in number 8, which is north. Okay, let me get rid of that. That's not related. So this is, what is this? This is 72-hour forecast. It's again the latest one. And that's the image that happens to be stored now there. So if I go back here, okay, that's, where was I? Number 8 active here. So I just want to import. I'm going to import right into slot 8, and let me do, say, North Atlantic 24-hour forecast. Yeah, this is more or less random talk here. Okay, so that is that. It's activated. It's North Atlantic, that import. Okay, and then show it. So there, what I'm doing, okay, is that right? Yeah, that's right. So there is a 24-hour service forecast for the North Atlantic. Oh, it's interesting. Okay, we're still working on some of this. This looks like it's not, we can tweak this. We can get this really spot on. This one, the georeferencing here is off just a little bit, but we can fix that. And that's all in the process now. Okay. So that's a way you import and export. Okay, now with all that sort of long introduction, I apologize, a long introduction. Now we get to the main point of the that I want to bring up. Several of these things are new, but the real new and powerful tool is the one down here, and it's these little 2 buttons. They're small buttons, but they have a lot of functionality. So you click this one, and that's determining the category of the product you want. The category of the product you want, and here you download what the options are. So let me just show you for the time being what's available. That's a browser. Oh yeah, so here is the link that you would look at, starpath.com/overlays. And this is a list of what's available now, but it will grow with time and as people have energy to work on this more. So there's these categories, that's synopsis maps like that. Then the ASCAT, I'm going to come back to that. That's going to actually take a video on its own, but I'll show that in a moment. Or here are the clouds, but on this page, you can actually see what you're going to get. You know, here's, for example, I want to show, these are very powerful. This is the most important Gulfstream data that's available, and you can download that. These are updated every 3 days. Every 3 days. That's interesting. I just saw that date on there. I have to check what's going on with that. But anyway, these maps are updated every 3 days. Have to figure that one out. Okay, and so let's see. So that's the types of things you can see, the clouds. And these ASCAT, I'm going to show you the ASCAT, let's say in the Biscay Bay, here's one of the satellites going. And so this is live data. This is November 10th. This went by 1941, Zulu. Oh, this satellite data, this image was 1941. And this was 22. Oh, actually, this is yesterday. Okay, so it takes a while to explain how this works. But these are going to be really the most powerful data that we have when we start overlaying these, because these are actual measurements of the wind. All right, so that's what you've got. Then if we go back, let me go back here and then say synopsis. Let me say synopsis, and then say download. Then you go to download, and then once it downloads, here's the ones that you can get. And now let me back up. Where am I getting this? It's going to go into, let me go to slot number 1. Here I'm slot number 1. I'm going to activate it. You don't have to activate it till you want to show it, but I'm in slot 1. So when I come down here and hit synopsis, download, and then I pick the map I want, North Pacific 72-hour forecasts, for example, right here, and say OK. Then I come down here and say OK. And there is, let's see, oh dear, did I choose 70? This says 48-hour forecast. Let me go back. That is a 48-hour forecast. So I picked the wrong. Let me just do it again. synopsis download. I want the 72-hour, maybe I just clicked the wrong one, 72-hour forecast, 72, okay. Now that's 72, okay. So that was just, and this is 72-hour forecast. So what I did was I clicked the wrong button. Okay, so that's the way that works. Let me just show, a couple more to illustrate this. I'm going to do Command W. I'm going to go down here and just say, let's look at others. I want to look at others and download. What do we have here? Oh wait, download. Oh, it's just the two Gulf streams. Let me look at the Gulf Stream North. Okay, and then okay. And so there is the Gulf Stream data, and you can control this. I've got to double check. I don't know what this date means here. I've got to look that up. These data should be live, and they should be updated every 3 days. Every 3 days on a Monday, I believe. We have discussion of this at starpath.com/currents. Okay. Now, okay, now to finish up, let me just take a real quick look at the ASCAT data. I'm going to come back with a whole video about it because it's so important, and it's such an important tool that takes more explanation. But let's look here. What we would do, I'm doing Command W. I want to look at the index, ASCAT index for North America, and then that's going I forgot again. Let me just do Command W, and then I want this one, but I have to activate it. Okay, activate it. Okay, now this is showing, this is again the reference here, starpath.com/ASCAT, ASCAT, lowercase. That will take you here and explain what we've done. We have a new system we developed over the last year or so. And so it shows where the various data is available. We've made up these names for this area, but if I look at the time, and one of the crucial things here is we say on this map when the data is going to be available. There's 2 satellites, one with 2 data passes each, one going up, one coming down, the other going up, the other coming down. So there's 4 windows of data we have to look at. But here it's telling us that we're going to have valid data in this area that's going to help us sometime when, plus or minus half an hour or so of these times. In 440 UTC or 1717. And I look right now, and I looked at this one because it also, we have to wait 2 hours. So this is when the satellites actually go by this area, plus or minus half an hour. So, but it takes 2 hours to process the data. And that's actually real fast. We're going to get this data faster than we get what we want to compare it to. So, well, we also can look out the window. So this is now, right now it's like 2020, and so I'm looking 2 hours. That's about this area here if I want to be on the beach. So let me look at the Baja data, 1717. I want to do just one. Okay, Command W. And so that would be, what did I check? Baja C descending. C descending, activate, C descending, okay, activate. Okay, and so here then is the live satellite going by, and this is 17.7, well, 1717, 1719 over here, you see. But this is what the real winds look like. This is a real wind in this area at this time. And we knew when to look, and then when we're in other areas, we'll know when to look. And so this is absolutely crucial for not only for your own navigation, but for testing the forecast, the GRIB, the numerical model forecasts. And we will also see in here real details. And like I say, I've got to come back and show the power of this later on. But anyway, that's just a quick look at the ASCAT, which is going to get its whole video. So I'll stop there, and that's just to illustrate the great expansion in this powerful new feature of qtVlm using overlay images.